I have to admit that I'm kind of tired of Vivy Fluorite Ice Song's habit of putting like all the substance right at the end of the episode, but that's cliffhangers for you, I guess. I got done with the 8th episode of Vivy Fluorite Ice Song, and this is my thoughts on it so far. So my theory on the idea that Ophelia has something else going against her for her decision to end her own existence, it didn't quite go the direction I was actually thinking it was going to go, and I was kind of cringing for a minute until the big reveal happens. But yeah, technically so far in this episode, we really have Diva kind of focusing on both learning about her past self as Vivy, trying to essentially push Matsumoto into letting him know more about what she was when they were together. He kind of mentioned the idea that her stubbornness that she is now is kind of similar to what Vivy was, and her attitude towards things was pretty much similar in most cases. And the other side of a lot of the conversation between Diva and Matsumoto kind of centers around the idea of what would cause Ophelia to do this, and it has a lot to do with the heart. And this is something that Matsumoto doesn't really understand. He's like, this is illogical, this doesn't make any sense. It can't be this because this literally technologically makes zero sense. And I think this is where like kind of trying to push on the idea of, I guess, autonomous versus programmed. And in a certain case, that's where I'm kind of leaning that this is kind of trying to push the direction towards. And that the idea is to kind of focus on the autonomousness of these particular sisters and how different they are than most AI. And that's kind of apparent in their attitude, their programmed emotions. And I guess this is where I'm really getting to an area of, I don't quite know if it is intending it to go this direction or if it's a fact of them just not writing it properly. Because technically Matsumoto does have a lot of emotions, and that could be programmed attitudes, I guess. How he was programmed in the future. There is subsets of AI mimicry of emotions that he does do, because he does have outrages, he does freak out, and that is usually a sign of autonomousness and, I guess, again, programmed emotions that he does possess, which technically is illogical to a program. And again, I don't know if they're going to go into an eventual route of going, hey, let's point this out, or if it's just assumed that this is a programmed reaction. I might be just looking way too much into it, but I'm giving you what my thought process goes in when I think about certain things like this. But yeah, a lot of talk about heart and the issues that Ophelia is having, and how this could be more emotionally driven rather than programmed or a virus or whatnot. Because Matsumoto obviously doesn't understand. His focus is, well, we know when it happens, so let's just stop it from happening and that'll be fine. And in Diva's eyes, it's, no, I need to find the root of the issue and tackle that. And that's where it gets into finding about Ophelia's previous manager, or robot manager. And this was Antonio, and Antonio was this robot that handled like lighting. It handled everything for her. And at some point, it just shut down. They don't know why. It just shut down, and it's in a museum now. And this is obviously upsetting to Ophelia, because their dream was for her to, similar to Diva, to eventually get on the big stage, to be recognized, to have a big audience of people that admire her. And obviously, Antonio didn't reach that point when she got there. And even though she mentions that it doesn't affect her, that she's not upset about that, in her facial appearance, it does seem like she's upset. And then what we find out later on is two things happen parallel to each other, as Matsumoto is just wanting to watch what happens to Ophelia, and if she does go to the roof, Diva decides to go talk to her. And on the way there, she ends up running to this guy that we've mentioned before, which looks similar to Yugo, but a younger Yugo. And I speculated in the last episode, this guy obviously looks like Yugo. It could either be a son, a grandson. Was more leaning towards grandson, just because the age difference there, because Yugo at this point should be upwards of 80, 90 years old. If we kind of take what I guess technically in the last segment of time was only 12 years prior. He looked kind of like in maybe 40s or 50s. So he would be easy up in there in the 60s, 70s, depending on, how they're portraying his age, because, anime characters don't quite look their age in any sense of the form. But yeah, he's quite old. And so it would be either a son or a grandson. Let's just say that. And my other thought process is, well, it could be something else. And that's where I'm going to kind of theorize here is, so yeah, Diva finds this guy while she's going to Ophelia's place. She chases after him. When he finally confronts her while she's chasing him, she starts getting flashbacks of Yugo in the past, starts getting memories of Vivy's memories, and then she kind of stutters and he shoots her. And then later on it jumps after the cast roll to her being kind of restrained, and he's staying there and he says, long time no see, basically. So here we go. Here we go. This is the direction we're going. That one line said it all. Long time no see. So unless he was a younger self and seen her from a distance while Yugo was fighting her, obviously this is still Yugo. And what does that mean? Either he found a fountain of youth, or he's been transplanted, or at least he may have been put into a robotic body. And this is where it's going to go way into a weird direction. Mainly because we haven't established at this point of human technology and having full cybernetic bodies, transplanting human brains to other bodies. We've not established really anything in regards to the advancement of human medicine and technology. So the assumption here is that either he, again, was at a younger age, seen Diva at some point, or Yugo has found some weird new technology to make himself younger or transplant his mind into a younger body or into a cybernetic body. And that's a little bit troubling. I will honestly say that if they suddenly jump out of nowhere and say, oh yeah, by the way, he transplanted his brain, or by the way, there's human technology that makes you youthful, and we haven't really even addressed it at this point, it almost feels like it's just kind of shoved in there. And that is a little bit troubling me too. So it's going to really rely on how they handle this next part. Again, it really does push all the ideas out about the idea of it being a son or a grandson, because one, the phrase that he said, which is long time no see, yes, you can imply that was him younger seeing her, but they also showed flashbacks of Yugo that they've shown before. Which, again, this is the thing that I thought that they were going to end up leaving behind. No, it's come back. We've seen more of this scene of Yugo's younger self playing piano with this AI. This AI's mission was to teach piano and make people happy. And in this whole accident scene where Yugo was involved in an accident, this robot shows, in order to make people happy with his music, he has to save these people. So he goes into this wreckage to save people, even though Yugo tells him, no, you're supposed to teach me piano. He's like, no, I have to show everybody and make them all happy, so I have to go save these people. And so he goes in there and he ends up getting blown up. And again, this is right before they show the scene with him walking up to Diva and saying, long time no see. Has to be Yugo. And again, how are they going to handle the fact that he's younger? I hope that they handle it well, because this can frustrate me depending on how they handle this, but we'll see. I'm not gonna throw it out the window yet, but yeah, we'll see. Of course, the parallels to this story as she's going after this, it seems like Yugo. Again, Matsumoto sees that this footage is being hacked. He is seeing a fake footage of Ophelia, so he rushes to go see Ophelia, ends up finding Ophelia on the roof where she jumps down from, and sees that, he tries to reason with her, like, Antonio's gone, and you're a little upset or whatever, but just trying to stop her at this point. And as he's bringing up Antonio and Ophelia possibly not being able to do this along with Antonio and how that might be affecting her, she goes, yeah, no, Ophelia's already gone, and I am Antonio. So, and this sucked because it was like one of those moments where they have I thought they were going to go the route of this has been my facade I've always had. I'm actually not really this cutesy, reserved girl. This is my other personality, which is sadistic and evil, and I'm like, oh gosh, we're doing this whole hidden personality with a different voice. No, it was Antonio. So I'm like, okay, never mind. We're doing that. Okay, Antonio has essentially hacked Ophelia's brain. Now, the question, of course, is Ophelia still in there? Is Antonio just came in there? Is it a situation where maybe Ophelia had downloaded Antonio's mind when it was shutting down? That's the big question. Of course, they've already recognized the idea that Antonio shut down for some unknown reason. My crazy theory is that Antonio, in seeing that Ophelia was not, winning to her potential, it showed that Antonio was obviously upset that Ophelia was failing. And he said, no, it's not your fault. So unless, again, he's putting up a facade at that point, my thought process is that at some point, Antonio, wanting Ophelia to be successful, or maybe he wanted success, and this was, again, a facade, he forcefully downloaded his mind into Ophelia, shut down, and then took over Ophelia's path going forward, or maybe just kind of jumps in there every now and then to take control and force her to succeed, basically. So that'll probably be the subject for the next episode, but that's kind of my theory there, is that he kind of forced his mind into Ophelia in order to make her succeed. Not so much that he was shutting down and Ophelia saved his mind. I think it's him invading hers. So, yeah. My other big thing that I noticed, and I don't know if I'm just reading too much into this, but at the very beginning when they showed the singularities branching off, they of course showed the singularity where the original singularity where Ophelia jumps to her end, and then it branches off into the singularity that we are in, and in the image, it's a little the shot of her on the ground is further out, and it's very glitched. But it's obvious that there shows some kind of darker area over to the right of her, which insinuates that there was somebody else with her, that something else jumped with her. And I'm curious if that's a sign of what's to come. Maybe that's just a sign of it happening in this singularity and that they're going to prevent her from doing that. Or if possibly there is another person that will be there with her fallen. So, could it be Antonio? Could it be Vivy? Could it be Diva? That's the big question there. But that's my. I'm wondering if I'm reading too much into it, if there's something else there, which would be pretty interesting. So, we have really two significant things happening right now that I'm really curious about what's going to come of it. And it's creating a lot of speculation, and I really do love that. So that's what I'm here for, speculation. This is the Speculation YouTube channel. Oh, I almost forgot. They did reveal that Matsumoto was the one that found Vivy, so that was my other big question mark there, was that they were never going to address what happened after she malfunctioned, but apparently, yeah, Matsumoto did find her, helped her kind of, retrieve her, and possibly caused her to reboot, but... yeah, that's my thoughts on episode 8 of Vivy Fluorite Ice Song. Definitely, like I said, ramping up. Got a lot of speculation there, which I really love. Want to know more about what's going on with Yugo? Definitely. But I hope you guys enjoyed my impressions. If you did, leave a like down below, comment down below, share this video if you can, and subscribe if you haven't already. And I hope you all enjoyed, and y'all take care.